Beyond the sea bag. What is beyond the sea bag? Sometimes people piss you off and it's like, man, I want to get this motherfucker a blanket party.
A lot of these things are going to be really shitty. So, and that's the truth about these programs. Nobody wants to talk to you anymore. Your family don't want to talk to you. They're scared of you. But you guys kind of fucked me. So I'm pretty pissed off right now. I'm not a doctor. I ain't gonna freaking go over diagnoses and bullshit like that. I'm just gonna tell you, the stuff I'm going through. I'm gonna say something stupid, because that is stupid. That would not have ended well. So I think I want to start doing is sweating my ass off in a sleeping bag and having nightmares and shit. He's a pretty lazy dog. Very lazy, actually. And he's got a lot of quirks. If you haven't started the process already of getting a counselor, getting in there, site, do that.
Okay, welcome to another episode of Beyond the Sea Bag. Today's episode ain't going to be that long because I just want to talk about what happened over the past, it seems like about 2 years. I kept on referencing the court shit that I was going through. And now I can talk about it because court's over, I'm done with it, and everything is good, I guess. So, but this dragged on for almost 2 years. This was going to court. I had VA counseling. I was in Batavia, which was the actual first episode of this, the PTSD program episode. I was there because of these infractions. I don't know what else to call them. I ain't going to give you details on what happened because I don't want to put that out there. So, but there was 3 of them all together. They were all felonies, all violent felonies. And what originally happened was that the VA had shorted some of my meds, and bad things happened after that. So I thought I could not take them for a while. I was asking my psych about getting off some of these medications, and so that's been going on a while. I don't like taking medications all the time. So, but that one that I tried to go off of, well, I didn't have a choice because the VA shorted me on it anyway. I think I went like 8 days without them. I went fucking totally psychotic. Everything was pissing me off. And these were all road rage type things. Well, not really road rage. It was just people just pissed me off, and it just my fuse. There was no fuse, I don't think. And once I got into the court, the first one got let go. It was in one jurisdiction that got let go. I didn't have to pay a fine or anything like that, so that was good. The guy was pretty pro veteran and military, so that was good. So got let off on that one. Went into the second one, which was 2 felonies in the same jurisdiction. Yeah, that one was pretty fucked up. So I had to go into drug and alcohol counseling, which didn't make any sense because it had nothing to do really with drugs. It had to do because I got short meds and stuff like that. But as far as like all the people in that program, they were all DWI and that kind of stuff. But if I had my medication and I had some weed, I think I was short on weed as well too. But none of that I don't think would have happened. So, but then I can't say that either because I'm still finding myself doing dumb shit a lot as well too. I've done this podcast. This is the 20th episode, and it seems like sometimes I'm just not following my own advice. I tell all these stories and give all you guys advice and stuff like that, and it still seems like sometimes that I'm like, what the fuck? I just said this on one of the episodes, and now I'm doing the same stupid shit that I told everybody not to fucking do in the first place. So that kind of gets frustrating. So, but takeaways from all this: don't do stupid shit, man. I don't blame anybody. I'm kind of mad about all the circumstances that happened and stuff like that, but I had to go through a lot of bullshit. And it was good because I wasn't drinking in the first place. Smoking some weed here and there just to sleep because I was with my restless legs and stuff like that. But I couldn't do that while I was in Batavia, and I couldn't do that when I got out until it's been 2 years. So I kind of cleaned out my system as well too Although now I have freaking shitty cardio because I didn't do jack shit for physical fitness, and the second time I was at Batavia, so that kind of sucked. But I'm still trying to get that back. But the takeaways again, I just stop doing dumb shit, man. Stop. I keep on reading the book over and over again, that Four Agreements book, and it's first thing. Well, I think the second agreement is don't take everything so personally, right? Be impeccable with your words, the first one. Don't take everything so personally. And I think a lot of us, with all the crap that's going out there and all the protests and all these fucking idiots doing stupid shit, you know, it's hard to disengage from some of this, but, you know, don't take everything personally. It doesn't affect you, and well, until it does affect you, then it doesn't affect you, right? So a couple of my brothers the other day were talking about being normal, and I know everybody that's a veteran, we just want to be normal, right? But what the fuck is normal? Can anybody out there please tell me what the fuck is normal? Because when I was asked this, I was just like, I just want to be normal for once. And then my brother, he's like, what the fuck is normal? We're in this 1% club. As you don't end up doing this shit, this life, and think that's normal, because it ain't. It just ain't, man. And so my version of what the fuck is normal, I don't know, but it's got to be something that is not surrounded by violence and the whole might is right, or I don't know. But then you get into, there's good aspects of some of the shit too, like respect and brotherhood and this and that. And it's like, I don't know, man. If anybody out there has an idea what the fuck is normal, any vets, because I'm pretty damn sure most veterans out there are thinking the same thing, man. What the fuck is normal? What is it? And when you think something is normal, like when I got out of the Marine Corps and I was married for a while, I thought that was normal, but it was just a show, I guess. I don't know. I would do things, dress certain ways, get certain jobs, hang around certain people and this and that, but it was always like I couldn't be comfortable in my own skin. And it wasn't until I got into a motorcycle club, and the first one was a military, Marine Corps only motorcycle club. And that's where I really felt like, I guess, normal, right? And you stay in that for a while, that shit happens. You want more. You just don't get along with the people anymore. They go in a certain way. They want to do more, ice cream runs than they do actually riding their damn bike across state lines and stuff like that, which is the reason why I got out of that after, I don't know, I think it was over 20 years. I don't even know how long it was. So, and I joined another club. I'm not going to mention any clubs because I don't want to get in any trouble for doing that. But riding is a good outlet for me. And when you're tracking your miles via hundreds of miles, I have a short out there that says something like that. But going across state lines, multiple state lines in a run, that's riding. And you get to get a lot of stuff off your mind, off your chest, whatever. You just by yourself. Well, you're not by yourself, but when you're riding, you are. You're with the group, and everybody's, linked in somehow because this big force is going down the road. You get a bunch of guys going down the freaking road in their cuts, and we're going miles and miles and miles. And I've ridden with, hundreds of guys, and I've ridden with a couple guys. I've ridden with another brother. Last one of the trips that we went down to Virginia, I believe it was, on the way back, somehow the pack went right, and me and another brother went left. And by the time we realized what the fuck was going on, it was like, where the fuck is everybody? So it was kind of like, well, we ain't going to turn around and find them. So we just took off, man. We rode hundreds of miles, man, just me and him. And that was a good ride. It was a good ride. And we eventually came across a couple of the other guys that had broke down. I don't know how the fuck, what route we took or nothing, but we eventually ran up on a couple guys. Yeah, but everyone made it back, so that was a good thing. But anyway, going back to doing stupid shit on the road and outside. And this is one thing I gotta say, and this is, I think, a problem that's going to resonate with a lot of you out there, is that when you get, especially out in traffic, stores, it's just wherever you go, that there's regular civilians, and everybody thinks they're entitled, and everybody thinks that they can do whatever the fuck they want and not have any repercussions for what they do. And what I'm talking about is especially people in cars, right? Because they think they're insulated by this car, and if you're going too fast or you go around them, and I drive like an asshole sometimes, but I don't tailgate people like some people do to try to get them to move out of the way. You know, I don't honk, I don't bright light them. I just wait till they get the fuck out of the way and go. And you know, sometimes you get somebody giving you the finger or something like that, and it's like, Jesus Christ, man. And then, you know, they'll do all this stupid shit. And you know what really pisses me off is that women do this stuff too. And a couple times I've pulled up because they've stopped. I pull up right along with them. They're rolling up their windows, and I'm knocking on the window, and it's like, I'm not even pissed off at this point, but you know, I'm just asking, what are you doing? You know, I said, you have no idea who this person is that you're giving the finger and tailgating and doing all this shit. And then I've had a couple women follow me. And then I'll pull over and get out, and they're rolling up their window and they're calling the cops. And I'm like, listen, man, you can call the cops all you want. I'm trying to give you some advice here. Don't fucking follow anybody. What are you, stupid? If my daughter came up to me and told me that she followed somebody that cut her off, I'd be like, what are you doing? You're going to get hurt. You don't know who these people are. You know, I could be a complete fucking psychopathic killer and shit like that. I'll drag you out of the car and you're fucking, you know, cutting you up on little pieces. What are you, stupid? You know, and it just, and then the guys freaking are all tough and shit like that, and they're getting out of the car, but then they run back in the car and they call the cops. And it's like, man, you wanted to start all this shit. You seemed like you wanted to fucking follow me and pull me over and this and that and tell me whatever. And then I get out of the car and it's all of a sudden, it's real. And you know what people that do that are? You're a bitch. And that's what I want to fucking say right the fuck now, because now it's even pissing me off now. You are a bitch, okay? You want to follow somebody, you want to do all this stupid shit, but then when it's fucking real, you don't want any part of it. You're a bitch. Again. Bitch. So that's all I have to say about that. I just wanted to get that off my chest. So, you know, man, if you're not going to do anything, don't follow anybody. Don't do that shit. Don't do that shit. You know. So, and if you do follow, you do want to get your shit out. You know, there ain't no more these days. There ain't no more beating the shit out of each other and going buying a beer. That unfortunately, that shit's out the window these days because everybody wants to report it. There's fucking cameras everywhere. You know, everybody's a little crusader, especially the ones on the internet. You can talk all kinds. That's why I try not to get on Facebook now, because I still do because it's kind of habit, but some of this shit I just can't read anymore because it's just like, man, these people talk so much shit, and I guarantee you wouldn't be talking that shit if you were standing right in front of me. You wouldn't. Guarantee you wouldn't. So anyway, back to the court, which I kind of got sidetracked here. So court-appointed lawyers. Useless. Fucking useless. Man, this guy, right from the beginning, when I went in, I was asking about going to the Batavia PTSD clinic and have him, you know, talk to the judge about that. And he's like, well, why do you think you need that? And do you qualify? Yeah, I'm a fucking veteran. And he's like, well, you went to that, we were out in the hallway because thank God we were in the back of the courtroom talking to each other because this is the most stupidest shit I've ever heard. But he tells me after I tell him about that, about the PTSD clinic, and he's like, well, you already went there once, correct? I was like, yeah. And he's like, well, obviously you weren't cured, so why do you want to go again? And I'm just looking at him like, did he really fucking say that? And I finally told him, I was like, basically go in there and talk to the damn frickin' judge and tell him about this. You're my fucking lawyer, and I swear to God, if you ever fucking say that shit again, I'll fucking, I was, even the I don't even remember what I said, but it was pretty similar to what I just said, because I don't know what they're called, the court police or whatever, not the bailiffs or something. I don't know, maybe they're bailiffs. I don't know what the fuck they are, but he was sitting by the door entrance on the inside. And apparently I was loud enough that, he's looking back through the window at us, kind of giving us this, is everything okay? What's going on? You guys need to, chill out. And, he did go back in there and talk to the judge about this. The DA was a fucking asshole and didn't want to let me go through the VA clinic as part of my time in this program because they were violent felonies. And they were like, well, the VA is just going to coddle them. And it's like, fuck you, right? So obviously you're not a veteran. You need to sit the fuck down and shut the fuck up. So that DA didn't get their way. So I went to Batavia, obviously. And hence the first episode. That's what kind of gave me the idea to do this podcast while I was there too. So, which is, I guess that's a good thing, right? Yeah. So going back again to the court system, the courts, I don't want to sit here and say the whole court system is fucked up, but it really is. So I've got some guests lined up. One of them is a guy that has just gone through the court system. He was thrown in jail for a little bit. It was an ugly divorce. So he wasn't allowed to tell his story. So on our group sessions and stuff that we have every week, I told him, listen, man, I'll put you on. And he couldn't do it. His lawyer told him not to do it yet until the court shit was over. He just won it. But the amount of money this man had to, throw around and get thrown in jail, and he lost his service dog, which I can't even imagine, man. I mean, that's so fucked up. That is so fucked up. He lost his service dog. I would lose my fucking mind if I lost Mayhem. That's my service dog, and he's in one of the episodes as well too. But I can't even imagine that. So I'm gonna have him on. I just exchanged phone numbers with him the other day, and I'm gonna let him tell his story. So give him a voice, which is the whole point of this whole podcast. So yeah, in regards to that kind of stuff, society is so fucked up now. It's getting so bad out there. It seems like it's getting so bad. I don't know if it's just the shit that's on the news, and because I really don't see too much of it here in Buffalo. So it's not outside my window. If it's outside my window, I'm going to consider that all hope has been lost, and we got to start taking matters into our own hands, right? So I can expand on that, but so that's all I got to say about that.